Good morning, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. As you're coming in, please make sure that you share this on your platforms, that you invite your friends and all the good stuff. Today, I think it's a talk for everybody, right? Like everybody, men and women, because what we're talking about today impacts everybody. If you know, you know, right? And so when we're growing up, we hear about puberty, we hear about, what to expect. They talk about the birds and the bees and all the different things of that sort. But who talking about menopause? We're hearing more about it now. But it would have been nice to know about this way before this approach. Do you hear me? So menopause, right? It's medically, I guess, after a woman having had her cycle for a whole year, medical consider her to be in menopause, so to speak. Different situations for different folks. Then you got the perimenopause and you got all the things, right? And then the myth that when you do get in it, the myth that you're told, and I found this out maybe a year ago, that once you're in menopause don't go away. Your symptoms may shift up, they may lay dormant and whatnot, but it is what it is, right? And so just like when we have our cycle, and so just like when we have our cycles and things of that nature, every woman is different. Some women have cramps, some don't. Some go 7 days, some go 2 or 3 days. Some bleed light, some bleed heavy. All the things, right? It's different. And it's pretty much the same with menopause. Some women go through the night sweats, the soakers, the hot flashes. Some don't. But if you are, right, here's the thing. And just like with anything else that you'll hear on my page, everybody's body is different. And so you have to do what works for you. I'm just going to share some things that you can try to see if it worked for you. I'm not a medical profession. I don't claim to be. And so with all things medical, you make for sure that you check in with your personal physician, okay? And work out what works best for you. But so I am 50. I have been in menopause now since 2011. I went into a medical menopause. And so, the hot flashes and all the things. And me personally, I don't want to do the HRT. What is HRT, you may ask? Hormone replacement therapy. Because cancer runs on both sides of my family, and there's some data that says that HRT can be linked to cancer, right? So I did it for only a year. That was it. And we going holistic, right? And so doing the holistic, it's trial and error. So I've had some older friends to say soy worked for them. Soy baby was not my friend, right? And that was back then. I haven't attempted really lately because So what I did in the early stages of menopause is I met with a nutritionist, and I began writing down what was causing the hot flashes, like my trigger foods, right? So for me, white zinc down, what was causing the hot flashes, like my trigger foods, right? So for me, white Zinfandel, that brown good bread from Outback, 7-Eleven coffee. Let me see, what else was a regular trigger for me? Those were like the main ones. And we, typically for all ladies, it's sugar, right? Sugar does something to our bodies that produces the hot flashes. And so your estrogen and your hormones and all things get out of whack, right? And so more recently there's been like, okay, what's going on? Did some blood tests. Party, y'all. Do you hear me? They are having a party. And so the doctor recommended estrogen. Well, I did a little bit more research on estrogen, and I found that in women of color, we have a higher rate of developing blood clots. And again, do your own research. I ain't no doctor. And so I'm like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna do that. So I start doing some reading, right? And so some of the things that came up for me that helps with regulating hormones is ashwagandha and maca root, M-A-C-A, because your girl thought the person I was listening to said matcha, that green tea. That ain't what she said. She said maca, M-A-C-A. And so maca root have a lot of different benefits. So for those of you that are married, please like, share. Hi everyone that's joined in. Make for sure you share this video. New to the platform, trying to build all the things, right? But back to what we're talking about. And so maca root, have a whole bunch of benefits. And so if you married and you're struggling in the sex area, it meaning the woman, she's dry down there, it hurts, the libido is low, all those things, maca root is said to help increase libido, help with the dryness and all those things, right? And so went to the doctor and she confirmed it, right? She confirmed that maca root is a good natural way to help regulate your hormones. And so my prayer, because I don't need none of that right now, because I ain't married, right? So I don't need nothing that's laying dormant to be awakened at this moment. We need to wait to that wed night. But if it's going to regulate some hormones, let's see what it's going to do, right? And so for the fellas, your girl, your lady, your queen, she may be irritated, she may be short, and you like, she was just laughing and she was just cool a few, may be short, and you like, she was just laughing and she was just cool a few minutes ago. Baby, let me take these here glasses out. We trying to figure out what's going on with our body. We trying to figure it out. And so fellas, be patient with your queen. I would urge you, do some research yourself on menopause, some symptoms, be patient with your queen. I would urge you, do some research yourself on menopause, some symptoms, some remedies, right? Like, do you know how heartwarming that may be for your lady or your queen, right? You come home and you be like, babe, I was doing some reading, or I was watching so-and-so, and it said, this may help you. You know, I can't say that I understand what you're going through, but I know you've been talking about this menopause stuff that I don't know nothing about. But it starts with men. No, I'm just playing. And so, like, to bring something home to her, right? Because y'all what impacts her impacts you. Hello. And so menopause is just one of those things. And for those of us that are now becoming the aunties and uncles, right, we becoming the elders, it's our responsibility to make for sure that we're sharing these experiences with our young people, so that when they hit this phase of life, that they're more prepared, they understand it a little bit more. Because when our people, our grandparents, aunties, mamas, and all of them was coming up, technology and information wasn't as readily as available as it is now. Because some of the reading I did when I first hit menopause, y'all, ooh, it talked about like women had a very high suicidal rate, right? They would go into these rages and just different. So it was like, oh no, we not having that around here, right? And so, but again, they didn't have all the things, technology and now in information wise that we have. And so the word of God tells us that the people perish for the lack of knowledge. And so we have an abundance of knowledge. So we shouldn't be perishing, and our legacy shouldn't be perishing. We should be putting that knowledge into practice, right? Because knowledge into practice. And so let us share that wisdom with our young people, with our sister friends, and like share notes. Girl, this worked for me, but that didn't work for me, right? This worked for me. So like, I like bananas. Bananas have a high, this worked for me, but that didn't work for me, right? This worked for me. So like, I like bananas. Bananas have a high, but banana, it has to be a small or a half of a banana, right? So have a high the banana, it has to be a small or a half of a banana, right? So for the consequences, right? And there's a doctor on YouTube that I've been watching. My primary doctor suggested her book. Her name is Dr. Mindy. Her last name escapes me, but the book is Fast Like a Girl. And so on her YouTube page, though, she has a variety of different insights on the woman's body and different methods that really help realign our body in certain things, right? And so like for menopausal women 50 and over, she talks about the 511. And so again, there's information out there. We don't have to suffer. If you don't know, ask somebody, right? We can have joy and peace in menopause, right? Even figuring it out, we can make light of it, but like really learning. Another thing that truly, truly helped me and that I've been taking since 2012 is B complex. Some brands call it B100. And in that, an elder, one of the mothers from my old church, told me, God just let her, she was a godsend. I literally was coming out the doctor's office and ran into her and was sharing with her what was going on, and she told me to get that. And what it does for me, it helps regulate some of those symptoms, right? The hot flashes, the soakers. And some may say, well, what is a soaker? I was having soakers like they're typically at night, where I would wake up in the middle of the night just soaking wet, right? And have to shower, change linen, change all the things. And of course your diet plays a great role in that. And so just being mindful of what you're taking in, be mindful, like do a journal for like 21 days, right? And it is not just your typical food journal. It's a journal of, okay, when I ate that piece of bread, I started sweating, I got hot, or when I ate this, I was good. So like really like journaling the effects of what you ate, the time when you ate it, and all those different things. And then, share a little blog on your social media platforms. You never know who will see it and who it will help and encourage, right? And that's what we should be using these platforms for anyway, like to share some experiences that's going to help people, make people laugh, lighten the weight a little bit, And so, again, menopause, let's talk about it, because coming up, we talk about X, Y, and Z. So when that baby become a young adult, 21, look here, life happens sometime, and you may go, your menopause is what's next, right? And depending on your journey and the path that God has for you, you may go into a medical menopause and be in menopause in your early. That's why I say talk to them young. Because again, I think 36. I was in my 30s when I went into menopause, and I'm 50 now, right? And so a lot of times when we think of menopause, we think of older women, right? 50s and whatnot. And I'm grateful for the ladies on my, especially Facebook timeline, because they're talking about it. They're posting what's working for them, and working out may help. Walking, I hear just 20 minutes of walking every day in that sun helps with regulating different hormones and different things like that. And so if you're not into the prescribed medication, there are some benefits to holistic health, but do your research, right? Because just because you're taking a supplement and it wasn't prescribed, all supplements aren't created equal. All supplements don't interact properly with one another. So there are some things you shouldn't take when you take in other things, and then there's other things that, for example, vitamin D3 and K works really well. It helps with absorption, right? But you shouldn't take vitamin D and iron together, because really well, it helps with absorption, right? But you shouldn't take vitamin D and iron together, but it's up to us to advocate for ourselves. And we have to remember that, doctors, they're pricing medicine. And so, not to say we guinea pigs, but we guinea pigs, right? And so they're going from a cookie cutter, basic type of thing. Medical doctor, I got a gynecologist doctor, I got a therapy, right? And so all of these different things is partnership. You don't just hand over everything and be like, oh, because you got the license. No, this is what I'm experiencing. What do your book say, right? For lack of a better term. They give you that. And if you tried it, be honest with them and say, okay, well, I've tried that. That's not working for me. Is there something else that we can try, right? Acupuncture works for a lot of different things. But again, be in partnership with your doctors. Talk to them, tell them, like when even little things might be off, share that with them. And it's important to share it with them via email or even an appointment so it can be charted. So later on down the line, there can be some comparison. Well, you was going through this and this, you know what I'm saying? And so again, take, you know, a lot of people is chasing the bag. And I'm not saying don't get your money, get your money. But if you ain't taking care and stewarding this body that God has given us and you're not stewarding it well, the bag is going to be left to somebody else because you ain't going to be here to enjoy it. How about that? Right? So take care of this body. God has called us to be good stewards over the things that he has given us, and he's given us a body. Hey. All right, y'all. So that's it. Let's talk about it. Let's not just talk about X, Y, and Z. So that's it. Let's talk about it. Let's not just talk about X, Y, and Z. Let's talk about menopause too. And don't leave the men out, because it includes them, because our attitudes impact them, the sex drive impacts them, or the lack thereof, right? All the mood swings and all the things. So let's include them on the conversation. Y'all have a great day. I'm on my way to church. I hope you're getting you some good church and fellowship in too. Have a great one.